Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome to the vid. It's your boy Ricky. Welcome to the RickyyyyGaming channel. As you can see, I lost some RP since the last video. I've been teetering between Plat 3 and Plat 4, but you gotta come with some slack. I've been fighting pros and rubies and stuff, but don't get me wrong, I've been holding my own against them, bro. Big Bertha don't play around. But yeah, we're still on the grind, trying to get to diamond. Hopefully sometime soon. But yeah, I'm having a lot of crazy games, a lot of crazy teammates. That's not a bad thing, by the way. I've been having some pretty good teammates and stuff. Yeah, man, it's been crazy. But with that being said, I'm going to go over my settings that I use, up to date, fresh, and pretty advanced mechanics that I want to say. And without further ado, cue the intro.
This guy's got the right idea. He wore the brown pants. Fine! I only have 12 bullets!
Alright guys, so we're in a range. I'm going to be breaking down all my gadgets, my abilities. I'm going to give you some advanced tips and tricks, as well as some settings I use. I guess first thing we can start off with is the Lewis gun. I actually been using the Lewis gun since before the season started, because I feel like it's always been a good consistent gun over the M60. They buffed it by 1 damage, which I feel was an attention buff, so everybody, you know, focuses on the fact that the Lewis gun is a consistent gun if they are a heavy. The 1 damage is nice, you know, damage is damage, you know, so, but it's always been consistent for me. I feel like it always does consistent damage on all the classes, regardless, you know, how many bullets you have or whatever left in the mag, or how low they are, or how many gadgets they use. I feel like the Lewis gun's always been consistent. So now I'm gonna talk about the mines I use. I normally use the explosive mine, as you know, it got buffed as well, and the pyro mines got nerfed. The thing is, the explosive mine is hit or miss, bro. There's always going to be those times where mines don't blow up people on the cash out, which is, you know, where you should be putting the mines anyway. But I decided to use pyro mines nowadays, since, you know, the fire over time, it does more damage than the explosive mines, I feel, and it also negates the ability to steal the cash out. Because once that explosive mine goes off, if they don't die from it, they're just going to steal it anyway. But the pyro mine, you know, it has longevity in the damage, so. And you get 2 of them too, so that's always good. Like whenever you need the 2. Alright, RPG, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It does 110 damage now. It normally just did 100, but they buffed it this season by 10. Pretty much standard in the heavy class. It does environmental damage if you need to blow up a floor or a wall or a ceiling. You know, that's RPG. It's just the damage you take to yourself sometimes. That's the only thing that makes it like bad. I still think they should buff it. I personally think they should have buffed the damage you take. This shit does 200 damage to me. That's ridiculous. It does double the damage to me than it does to the person I'm shooting it with. I think that's the issue. This is the only explosive that heavies have that does instant explosive damage, so what can you do? Alright, now the dome shield. The dome shield got buffed. It counters Wind's Claw completely, which is good. It's pretty reliable. It blocks a good amount of damage before, you know, it disappears. And I feel like it's in a good spot right now. And lastly, my specialization is slam. So I've been using slam for a good minute now, and since the Wind's Claw got nerfed and the mesh shield got buffed, I feel like the slam now is a very underrated specialization. Because the only thing was, like with slam, it just gets heavy countered by Wind's Claw. So most of the time, if you don't know the guy has Wind's Claw, you're just gonna get wince right out of it. But now, since they nerfed it, you don't run into many Wind's Claws as you used to. So if somebody runs the mesh shield, you can just charge right through that. They still take full melee damage. And another thing I like too, I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you hit this guy right here with a jump pad slam. You ready? You see how much health it? Look at his health bar. Slam is really good. It has a good charge on it. No pun intended. Like the recovery on it, you get it back pretty fast. I think that's good. And it also does environmental damage. It breaks through walls. So I think charge is a very good specialization to use nowadays. You just gotta use it wisely. Now, some advanced techniques I'm gonna give. We can start out with the Lewis gun, I guess. Practice the recoil on it, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Literally, that's it. So some things I noticed with the RPG is that you have the most consistency with the RPG when you're in the air. So if you have a teammate that has jump pad, or if you have a zip line you jump off of, or you're on height, or even if you just jump, it's better to do any of those actions to make sure you get the most damage you can. Jumping angles it down at them versus, you know, giving it a chance to go straight past them. And I've had that happen in the past a lot. Well, I aim my rocket launcher at somebody and it'll whiff right past their ear or something. So these zip lines right here, these will also help. These are also very good for that. So yeah, I can see here, I take the zip It's good damage. So yeah, just anything in your immediate area that can use this movement to get a good angle on somebody when you shoot the RPG. Take advantage of that. Dome shield. So what I normally do for the dome shield is I'll underhand it and go right to the spot I need it to go. So I recommend underhanding the dome shield versus overhanding it, because if you accidentally throw it too far, it might put you in a bad position. Now, overhanding the dome shield isn't a bad thing either, because, you know, sometimes, like, say this guy is my teammate, right? And he's about to get looked at by that guy. You can actually throw the dome shield at him and protect him from that guy. So there's nothing wrong with overhanding it. I just prefer to underhand it more, especially when I'm fighting and it's in a 1v1 or I'm the last one up and I need to clutch it up. I'll normally underhand it, and it's better to look down at your feet. I don't do it as much, but it's better to look down at your feet when you underhand it, because it'll immediately hit the ground. So like, as you can see, if I underhand it, look, it takes a long time to hit the ground, and it's, you know, a little far, versus if I look down and underhand it, and it's protecting, you know, look, see? So yeah. All right, now, so for the pyro mines, the tip I would give is it's better for like placing on dead bodies. So for example, right here, once you get a kill, it's good to, like, you know, because when they try to go for the res, that's what happens. All right, so another thing you could do is when you place these mines down, what I normally do is I get on top of it if you're able to, and I place them like on the sides and stuff like this. So when people try and steal it, well, they're normally not this far. Normally when people try to steal it and they get like right here, they'll actually activate the mine. And then, you know, yeah, so it's good to put them on top of them. Yeah, see? This is what normally happens when they try to steal it. So yeah, just put your mines in sneaky spots, you know, so when people try to steal it, they get blown up for it. And the fire, I think, is a good, like, deterrent from trying to steal it after they get caught on fire by the mines. All right, now for charge, I actually have a lot of tips for the charge. You can actually swap to whatever you need to while you're doing the charge. I'm gonna throw my dome down, I'm gonna charge, and I'm gonna swap between my pyro mine and my RPG. Well, he was alive, so he already died, but as you can see, I can maneuver all my buttons while I'm in my charge, so it's very important you do that. And I've had this happen to me before sometimes, like, you try to walk around this corner, right, and you have your RPG out, expecting to be further in, but boom, he's right here. What I would do right there is I would charge him, and then as I'm charging him, I would swap to my gun instead of my RPG, so I'll just blow myself up. So yeah, there you go. That's a trick I would do with the charge. And you can also stop your charge. You can actually press it again and you'll stop the animation. So if you need to break this wall right here, you can just do a charge and then click it again and you're done. See? And if you struggle to aim your charge at somebody, so say you're like right here and you're trying to hit this light, it might be, you might miss like that, and then, you know, you just wasted your ability and you get shot in the process. So I'm gonna aim at this light dummy right here with the space in between my right hand and the watch on my left arm. The, like, that intersection right there. Yeah, see? So I'm gonna slow it down for you right here. So that's the space right there I use to aim at the person I'm trying to hit my slam with. So that's a breakdown of all my equipment and stuff. So now I'm gonna go over my settings. All right, so for my crosshair, I have this blue. It's kind of close to the blue that your team has highlighted around them. And, you know, I feel like that's a good color to use as a crosshair, since you're either going to fight pink, purple, or orange. Sometimes red, depending on what mode you're playing. But I feel like this blue is a good contrast to fighting people with those colors lined around them. I feel like it's an easy color on the eyes to, like, detect. So, like, if you're in a bright area, you can still see the blue. Or if you're in a dark area, you know, it still pops out. And you can still see the dot. So I feel like this is a good crosshair color for the reticle and my hipfire aim. And they're both the same. Well, this one's 150 and 225, and then 0 for the red, for the reticle. Center dot, 225, and then red is 0. And then I use the dispersion reticle because I feel like it helps me line up my shots better, since it's, you know, interactive. It keeps me more focused. It's easy, I feel like it's easier to close in on a target. I feel like the only time I would use the static reticle is if I'm using the akimbos, or if I'm using a gun that doesn't allow you to ADS. So now these are my up-to-date settings. These are the settings I've been running for Season 9. I feel like this is a good speed, 425, 375. So for the multiplier, most people run like 40, 50. I feel like that's too fast. I run 25%. For scope zoom, you could buff it to 35 or, you know, something like that. Because I feel like this is it's a smooth, you know, it's just smooth right here. You know, it's not too jittery, it's not too responsive. It's like nice and smooth. So if I need to aim at him and then aim at that heavy, and then, you know, see, medium and then heavy, I feel like that's a good speed. And it's not too responsive, it's not too, like, stiff. It's a decent speed, I like it. you know, it's all preference, by the way. So if you feel like 25% is too slow, or you feel like the 425 is too fast, or whatever the case may be, then adjust it based off that. But I feel like this is a good good sensitivity to run. Focal length sensitivity scaling. So I had this off. It turns out it actually makes your settings a little more inconsistent, so turn that off. I recommend that. Now, I know most people don't run the boost because they say it makes your hip fire more inconsistent, but I have my ramp up time at 1 because it's how long it takes to accelerate to the full amount. So as long as you don't fully move, it's still going to be the same, unless you just, you know, go all the way, then boom. I feel like if you need to like turn around real quick, then you can, without, you know, sacrificing your hip fire. And then for zoom, I don't run that for the my ADS. I actually don't need it, so that's why I have it at 0. But if I was to run it, I would have it at 1 or 1.5, depending on how fast or how slow it is. Aiming in a dead zone, 0, so you have maximum control on your settings. So if I need to make micro adjustments, it's still there. So I feel like 0 is good. If you have stick drift, then adjust it based off of your controller. And like I said, it's preference. Movement, inner dead zone is 5. So yeah, I run mine at 5. Obviously, we don't have this on. I use linear. I think linear is good. I've tried all the other response curves. I feel like the exponential and sinusoidal, I feel like they're good, but with the settings I have, they're not good. I feel like if you want to use these response curves, then you have to tweak your settings to where the response curves feel good, you know? I don't have the settings that go well with either one of these response curves. All right, and for my look acceleration, I have that at 25%, so it matches my zoom sensitivity multiplier, so it feels the same as when I ADS. You know, as I move, as you can see, it feels the same to me when I do it like that. And then when I need to turn all the way, that's when, you know, my movement speed kicks in like that. I feel like this is one of the main things that make my controller settings really good. I have my preset on modified button equipping. So what that does is right here, as you can see, I have to press R1 and then a button to confirm that's what I want to do. For example, if I want to swap right here, you see I'm not like taking the zip. But as soon as I press triangle, I can take the zip, you know. And I think this is pretty good, especially if I need to do my reload tech. As soon as I reload, I can swap and boom, I can shoot my gun again. And you want to learn how to do this tech? I made a video on it. I'm gonna leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. And you can still just press triangle to go back to your gun, by the way. With modified button equipment, I'm able to do all that cool stuff, you know. Like I could kill this enemy right here. I can do this while I res people. My button binds, I use L3 to jump. Pretty much I have an edge controller, but I don't use the paddles. I never really needed extra buttons. If you don't have an edge controller and you just have a regular controller, I feel like these are good binds. I feel like these are good universal binds to run. Crouch, L1. I can do all the basic movement without having to take my thumbs off the sticks. I can jump without taking my thumbs off the sticks, and I could crouch without taking my thumbs off the sticks. I feel like those are the main movement buttons that you need to be able to do at all times. I have jump, L3, sprint to toggle doesn't matter, auto sprint's on. My specializations are 3. I feel like it's quicker to get to the specialization like that versus pressing a different button. I might low-key swap my R3 for punching, because sometimes I want to punch them when they're low. As you can see, I take my thumb off the right stick when I have to punch, so that's probably the only thing I would swap out. But for now, this feels most comfortable for me. These two are interchangeable. Because of the modified button equipping, I inspect my gun with the up on the D-pad, as you can see. Down on the D-pad I emote, and then left on the D-pad is expressing myself. So as you see, when I hold down on the D-pad, all my emotes and hand expressions come up. Hand gestures, I mean. And if I quick tap, it goes straight to the one I assigned it to. And then for expressions, if I hold it, these are all the stuff you can paint the walls with, or, you know, bodies, depending on how you play. And if I quick tap it, scoreboard, middle part of controller, I don't think that's really a change for anybody. R1 is my modifier button. It's also the button I use to ping with. If I hold R1 and right on the D-pad, this is where the comms come in. If I just press R1 in the right D-pad, the ping pops up, the auto ping. And if you hold it, you know, it's low-key some claw hybrid settings, because I do use my first finger to like tap the right D-pad if I need to, if I'm moving actively and stuff. It's still really comfortable for me. Interact with the interact and equip weapon, that's triangle. Reload and pick up object, that's square. Communication we already went over. Ping modifier, I already went over. All this is untabbed. So this stuff I don't really pay attention to. I don't really care for the spectator settings. I just left them how they were. Sometimes my camera gets stuck in a wall anyway, so aim assist. So a lot of people have all this stuff on, but I kind of like this part off, because I don't know the actual reduction to the sensitivity. So I feel like because of that, it kind of makes my settings feel inconsistent. So I turn that off because I naturally like the feel of my settings how they are. So I don't need the game to slow them down. I'm still tracking them pretty well. And then I have controller vibration off. I feel like you should have that off. I don't use gyro. Yeah, just turn that off. For social, this is my settings, but like I said, this is all preference right here. If you like your text size to be big, or if you like your voice chat volume to be high, it's all preference. Mouse and keyboard I don't use. I don't have any recommendations on mouse and key settings. All right, accessibility. I feel like default is actually good. Invert flashbang color, I think this is very important, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm not gonna nuke the screen. I'm gonna throw it far enough for it to affect the screen. So look at the difference between this and this. It's a little easier on the eyes. I feel like this is a good setting to have. I would recommend turning it on, because if you get flashed like that, it's not as hard on the eyes. It just feels like you blinked or something. So I would recommend turning that on. Subtitles is preference. Motion blur, you should have this off. Once again, modify button equipping is what I run. So I normally run my audio this at 50, this at 75, and I have night mode on because it makes the audio even crisper than normally. I don't know why. Night mode makes it better at night, but I'm not sure if you can hear the difference between now and a couple seconds ago, but this is the audio I run. And lastly, video. So I run 120 frames. I have 100 on my field of view. Motion blur off, lens distortion off. You should have that off. Idle saving, I mean, I haven't really seen no difference in having it on or off in game, so I mean, shoot, save some energy. But yeah, that's my full setting breakdown. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to pump out some more finals content, and I'm trying to slowly work my way up to diamond solo queue style. So if you want some more videos like that, let me know. If you want some more videos like the randomizer video I just made, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about anything, just let me know in the comments as well. And thanks for stopping by. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.